Okay, this is another tutorial for Adobe Photoshop. This is Adobe Photoshop in Linux, so if some of the menus seem to be acting a little different, that's just because of the operating system in my settings. Now, in this tutorial, I'm going to do a kind of a technique I've just been playing with since I did the past tutorial. Um, Essentially, it's like creating neon lights using text. A very simple way of going about it. I know there's other ways of doing it, but I kind of like this way because it really applies more flexibility and allows me to do a lot more. So, created my new uh, document here. I would definitely say get an idea of the desktop resolution that you want to work with, and that way, when you resize your text and all that, it'll come out a little bit more closer to what you want. So I'm gonna go in here, darken my background, so you see exactly what I'm working on. Position my text where where I want it. Okay. Now this isn't gonna be perfect or beautiful, but it'll at least convey the point, and from here you can just kind of play with it and make your own thing. Now text itself is originally a path, essentially just a filled whatever kind of shape. Now make sure that you do not have your bold effects or pretty much any effects applied in your character palette. I found a lot of the options down there will lock it up and will not let you do this. So make sure if it does give you an error of some sort that one, it's either that actual font itself or you have one of these effects um, going on. Now, okay. Now from here you would right click on in your layers palette on your text layer, create work path. Okay, this essentially is a path that's going to create your bulb, your neon bulb. Now from here you need to go directly to paths. Where it says work path, you need to double click on that one because you want to save this path, because a work path disappears when you stop using it. So you want to preserve that so we can get ourselves ready here. Um, Go ahead and create your new layer, which is the layer you're going to be working on. Turn off your text layer. Go into your paintbrush, edit your settings to whatever preferred. I suggest keeping your opacity at 100% and going with the default settings, and have the hardness all the way up to 100%. And your diameter, this is the thing, if the diameter is too fine, then think about it, the bulb will be too fine and it won't look right. Now if the diameter is too wide, same thing, it'll blotch everything out and it won't look right. So find something that would be relatively the appropriate size for what you're trying to do. And you'll see as you start applying the layer styles how it all comes together. Now for this I'm using a 10 pixel radius, so it should be fair and should flow pretty well. Now you can go a step further and do some added touch-ups later on to make it look more realistic and this and that and the other. Okay, from here you want to go to your paths, make sure that the layer, your empty layer, is selected. Right click on the paths and go to stroke path. For this one you want to make sure that your brush is selected, since you just changed all those settings. That's what you want to work with. The simulate pressure is off. You do not want that because you want consistency. You click on OK, let Photoshop do its thing, and when it finishes, mine might take a minute to update, you will have, that's why, when it finishes you'll have your finished piece, your bulb essentially. Sorry, I had black selected as my color there. Okay, from here, still on that, now it's just the outline. As you can see, everything disappears except for the stroke there. Now you go into your outer glow. This is essentially where the light happens, or the bulb happens. So far I've been using no blending modes whatsoever. I move the opacity all the way up, and then I select the color for my glow. The outer glow is the outer glow of the bulb, essentially. So I want to make this sort of a deep blue. Okay, it's kind of hard to see with all the transparency things that I have. It's just the way I have Linux set up right now. Now, the thing I want to note for my little twist to things is I changed the contour down here, and I have it bow in a little bit. This way, if you think about it, it's like how a glow effect actually emanates from a light. And you're trying to replicate that. I keep the spread down for the elements, and then I just move the size up until I get to a look that I like for the intensity that I want. If I want to make it more intense, then of course I'll add just a touch of the spread. Too much spread is a bad thing, not enough. It's just going to have a light glow to it. Okay, I actually want that color a little bit deeper than that, and a little bit more into the blue spectrum. So almost a purple, deep purple. Alright, now for the bulb. The bulb is essentially the same procedure except backwards, or inverted. So I want it to be a blue light, so I'm going to go into the blue, but not too deep. Actually, I'm going to bring it out just a tad. Alright, and then my opacity is 100. I'm going to change the contour for the bulb opposite. I'm going to actually go to the left some, so it'll bow out kind of like the shape of the bulb. And then you can already see at the settings before I even moved anything that it's already looking like a bulb. From here, the most was the brightest point of the bulb is the center, especially with these. So the idea is to to convey that. You not necessarily want it to be white because they're hardly ever that way. So to convey that a little bit more, I'm going to add an actual blue, just solid blue overlay, and then drop the transparency. Not all the way, the opacity, not all the way, but just to give it like a slight tint of whatever color, in this case blue, just to give it a slight tint. So I'm actually gonna put it at 12% here, and that's pretty much it. You can go ahead and play with the effect. If you kept your text layer directly under what you're working with, then you can reapply that, add other effects to that. Let me go in here and open up a new one of those. Come in here, copy, go back. Change out some settings here. Say career new. See. Right in front of me. Alright, this, make it a bold. This I'm actually going to just drag the layer in. A lot easier. Less of a headache if Linux would participate with me today. Alright. So just like in a previous video when I covered clipping mask, I believe it was my only Photoshop video so far, so this will be my second. Applying the same effect to it. And I want to make this font a little gray but still light because I'm going to change the opacity on it. And this, I'll tell you what. I figured this video is going to run a lot longer than what I have already been working with. Sort of blue, like that. Alright, and use that clipping effect and fill that with that, and then bring my original text back there down. Alright, now if I add a background to it and this and that and the other, everything, will slowly come together and you'll have, neat desktop, essentially. And you just, you play with it, you have fun with it, and create new techniques or whatnot, strategies, I guess. And I don't know, just have fun with it. It was a neat thing that I stumbled across, and decided to share it with you guys. So there you go. Have fun.